Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Slasher Movie Club Monday nights. Here we go, Coriander. We're going
Mhm.
back into the old school Giallos. What's going on?
Yeah, not much. Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
All right.
Um, this is gonna be an interesting one. Tonight we're talking about Torso from 1973. And for most people here, with the exception of a few, this is actually our second time doing this one.
Yeah.
Because we had that on the first channel. So it's almost like
Hmm.
the circle is almost complete. We've almost gotten all of the movies that we have done before, and this was a
Yeah.
pleasant one to come back to. Let me jump to the chat real quick, and then we'll get going on this thing.
Sure.
Um, we got Sunrise in the chat. What's going on, man? Said never seen
Hello.
this one. Hey,
Ah.
that's
Mm.
exactly why we love doing this series because hopefully we're introducing some forgotten or unknown movies to you guys. Yeah. And he was saying, I always thought my knowledge of cinema, horror films in particular, was unmatched until I met Night. That's good. Hey, the beautiful thing about this series is that I'm learning too, and Coriander as well. We've watched a lot of movies over the years, but we're still finding new gems. Let's see. Dre's in the chat. What's up, Dre? What's going on? Brandon saying, I'm watching the movie right now. Not sure if I should finish before or after the live stream. Giallos are my preferred type of horror. All right. Very cool. Ginger Ninja's in the chat. What's going on, bro? What's going on? He said, watch this the other night on Tubi was pretty good. Very strange. All right. Okay. Uh, we've got another Brandon in the chat. Brandon loves the movies. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Saying this is a great Giallo. Strangely enough, I've got it playing right now. The fine out
Nice.
of print Blue Underground Blu-ray, a wonderful Sergio Martino Giallo film. Nice, very very cool. Yes. Gina's in the chat too. What's going on? Welcome to all you guys, and definitely if you haven't yet, please hit the like button. That definitely helps to support the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Um, let's see. And Brandon was saying it's a great movie. All right. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
nice.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What's up to Dan? All right. Good to
Hello.
see you, man. Let's see. Do. Very, very cool. Um, and Dan saying that me and Ginger both closing in on 200. Check out his channel. Absolutely, definitely. Check
Nice.
out check out each other's channels in here, no doubt. So great content creators, Mr. Dan and
Hmm.
Har and Ginger Ninja as well. Definitely check those guys out. Let's see. And I want to make sure I just catch up to everyone here. We also got Neil in the chat. Neil on Black Reviews. Check him out as well. Torso is one of my favorites. Okay.
Nice.
That does not surprise me.
It's too bad he's not with us.
Does not surprise me. Well, we can't. Coriander.
I'm just saying.
We can't do anything about it now. Brandon saying, even if I didn't love the movie, I thank Nightwatch and Corey for making me aware of these films. Thank
Yeah.
you. We appreciate that.
You're
That's why we
welcome.
love. That's why we love doing
Hmm.
these movies.
Yeah.
Russell's in the chat too. All right, very cool. Kyle's in the chat, and Derek, what's going
Hello.
on? Saying greetings from
Hey.
Berlin, Germany. Wow, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Very cool.
Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome to our community here. Hope you
Yeah.
enjoy it. Yeah. Let's see. Gina saying, I thought you said you covered Phenomenon with Donald Pleasance, but I can't find it. We have not done it yet. We have not done it yet. That's why you can't find it. Um, all right. Well, let's get going on this, Coriander. What's your
Yeah.
connection with this movie? I know that we talked about it a few times, and you've seen this movie even more than myself. What's your connection with this movie?
Yeah, this movie, yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot. I mean, so many horror movies that it's crazy to count, and
Mm-hmm.
foreign horror is definitely one of, is a part of that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I used to have this movie, and yeah, I mean, it's a great slasher movie, a whodunit. It's who doesn't love a college setting, and
Right.
so yeah, it's a great flick.
Yeah. It really is. And Derek was saying Torso with Susie Kendall, love it. Yeah, and obviously, Susie's the lead, in this movie, but one thing I really, enjoyed, about this movie is that it really took its time, to kinda just give you this sense of I don't know, it was like this carefree sense, of the world in this movie, and it starts right off, I mean, whether it's
Mhm.
sex scenes or obviously these beautiful women, like you said, it's basically like, a college, slasher, in a way. But I think that it was really cool because it sets you up in this kind of carefree type of environment that totally goes down the tubes when you've got a killer that's basically picking these ladies off one by one. um, as we said before, 1973 is when it came out, directed by Sergio Martino. Susie Kendall is Jane, and so many others. The thing that caught me by surprise when I first saw it, and even when I rewatched it for tonight's episode, is that, these university students are in the middle of a situation where there's a manhunt for a killer who's killing with this scarf, this red and black scarf. And don't get me wrong, I know it's a horror movie, but they're kind of just operating like, hey, it
Life
kind of
goes
is what it,
on,
yeah,
right?
it kind of is what it is. And you have a lot of colorful characters and situations. What did you think about, like, once we open up the movie and we have that
Mhm.
scene where we have that first kill that's like basically outside. What were you thinking, like, with that? Because that was kind of like one of those moments where it's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, it's this movie, like, it's tense and it has, suspenseful moments,
Yeah, it does.
and um, yeah, you have this lecturer, this dude here who's talking about shit, and
Hmm.
there's red herrings. Obviously, they give you, a few red herrings, and
Yes, a
yeah, it's
bunch.
like, yeah, it's- and they love doing that. And I mean, I think one of my favorite scenes, because I don't want to like go,
Yeah,
they,
we're not gonna give the huge spoilers away yet.
yeah, right. It was the stalking scene in the woods. I mean,
Yes.
that was so atmospheric, and the music, I mean, it was effective, and yeah, it was like I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie was that one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that was one of those scenes that, to me, even the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, wait a minute, this
Mm.
is awesome. And
Hmm.
first of all, when you have someone that's walking through the forest, walking through mud, and you
Yeah.
see a figure, and we see it right there, you see a figure in the mist,
Yeah.
you run. But the way that the movie
Yeah.
is shot, you can kind of get the sense of being disoriented,
Hmm.
and we feel that, or at least I felt that as a viewer, as she's basically about to be killed. It
Hmm.
was very effective in the way that it was shot, and also the way that the kills were happening. And again,
Yeah.
this is 1973 for you guys that have followed us in this series. We've talked about a lot of slasher movies, and especially a lot of slasher movies from the 80s, like that golden
Hmm.
age. And it never ceases to amaze me when you have a movie that is quote unquote old, like this movie is, that
Hmm.
does things so well compared to even newer movies. I mean, there were movies in the 80s that we just couldn't even get through them because even the kills were just
Yes, we're
they just weren't
terrible.
good. Yeah. But with
Hmm.
this movie, it's very, very well done. Um,
Hmm.
let me just jump to the chat real quick. And also, and there's been some other more modern movies that have done really, really well, even if they have lower budgets. And we talked about that even last week with The Sleeper,
Hmm.
also Murder Loves Killers 2 from our good friend Drew Barnhart, but who, by the way, been in touch with him. We message each other fairly regularly, and
Hmm.
this movie, he was talking about how he just gets inspiration from horror, and this movie gave a lot of inspiration. So shout out to Drew
Nice.
when he gets a chance to see this. But in the chat, we do have a super chat that has come in. Thank you so much,
Oh, nice,
Dan.
Dan.
Very, very kind of you, man. We appreciate the
Yeah.
support. helps to keep the lights on and allows us to keep operating away from the norm with a series like this,
Yeah.
because I'm sure that a lot of people, even people that are, subscribers that are thinking, "What the hell is Torso?" I don't know if I wanna watch that, but yeah, this is a good one. He says, "Let's see, $1 per boob? No, I'd go broke." Right. Yeah,
Yeah, you see a
exactly.
bunch,
Yeah,
You men are
absolutely,
always
Dan.
lucky in these films,
That's
that's for sure.
well, yeah, but no,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was definitely one of those movies. Dan, let's play this for you, man. Here we go.
But listen up now. This is serious. When you're tempted to do something wrong, even if the reasons are good, think twice because you never know how things will turn out. You might be getting yourself and everybody else into a whole lot of trouble. Do what's right, and you can't go wrong. Take it from me, Mr. T.
And there we are. Thank you so much, Dan. We really appreciate the support. You rock, man. Uh, we
Hello.
got Katie's in the chat too. What's going on, Katie? Our good friend from Popping the Popcorn. And also reminding people, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Share this out on your social medias. That would really help. Brandon saying you guys are right. It is somewhat of a university-based slasher entry. It's also a villa film, as the second half largely takes place at a villa in the Italian hillside. And that's exactly where I wanted to go with this, man, because this movie, it really has great atmosphere. You really do feel like, I don't know, some movies just transport you. And this movie definitely did that for me. It transported me into this place with these people. Even though the storyline, and we talked about this too, Coriander, before we went live, it's a very simple story. It's very lean. But
Yes. Yep.
what makes movies like this effective, or lean movies effective, I think, is having a lot of atmosphere and also style. It has a lot of style to
Hmm.
it as well.
Yep.
Um,
These old movies, especially back in this is what, the 70s? They
73.
do. Yeah, it was just the 70s and the 80s, there was just something about it with, style and music that yeah, you just will never be able to have it again.
Yep.
So yeah.
Neil saying you have to give Torso credit for standing out at a time when Argento was putting out some fantastic jelly of his own. Very true. Yeah. Very true. Dre, a big fan of that scene, using the fog in that scene. I agree. It's very, very, very creepy. Brandon saying, "Mr. T in the house." That's right. Oh man, you're welcome, Dan. You're welcome. Yeah, the fog usage was great. That was a great scene. That was a standout scene to me. Um, Also the music, Brandon talking about that too. A great soundtrack. 2 nights ago, I watched the Blu-ray of Bay of Blood. Both fabulous soundtracks that leave you thinking. It's true.
Yeah.
The music really, um, again, it's creating some of that atmosphere. It's ratcheting up the tension, and we saw a lot of that. Now, one thing that I want to also touch upon too is kind of, a couple of the situations going on, because like you said, we had that scene in the forest, great shots,
Hmm.
like this one right here. You just know, you just know that something bad is going to happen. And as much as you can try to run, it's just not going to help. You're not going to get away, and you're going to get killed. But I loved how, different parts of the movie just kind of framed the killer or the victims and so forth. But you have a lot of red herrings in this movie. You've got like three or four that I could think of
Yeah.
offhand. And
Hmm.
so the movie does also a really good job of making you wonder, who is it? And all of the red herrings, to me, you definitely thought, yeah, it could be them. But
Hmm.
let's also talk a little bit about our lead, Jane. What did you think of her character? I thought that with the screen time that she was given, and of course, this is spread amongst multiple characters, but
Hmm.
the idea of her and how things end up when they're at the in the villa. What did you think of her character in general through the movie?
I mean, she was probably one of the better, out of the ladies.
Hmm.
And Yeah, I mean, she made a pretty good final girl,
Yeah,
I really can't complain too much, She especially, I mean, well, I guess I'll wait till we get to the end, but yeah, so
yeah.
yeah.
Well, basically what's going on, and also I got to give a shout out to Stefano, who also had a lot of screen time, kind of as the stalkerish
Mhm.
ex-lover, boyfriend, or whatever, and he was just showing up at every turn, and
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into it, but he was very, very effective,
Mhm.
um, in his moments, very creepy, I should say. And
Mhm.
with these killings that are taking place, the girls, obviously they're all friends, they're on the edge too. So there are a lot of scenes where things are happening and, you can understand why they're all tense and so forth. But once they kind of go away for a vacation, so to speak, to kind of get away from the stress and so forth. And this is in the third part of the movie, the third act of the movie, and it's totally secluded, you know. This
Yeah.
this is this place is like on the top of a mountainside, and
They
as
usually
soon
are, man. Yeah.
that's true too. As soon as I saw where they were going for their little weekend getaway, I was like, "Oh my god, this is absolutely amazing," because they are so secluded, and it's funny because everyone in the town kinda, knows them. "Oh, those are the girls, the model girls, and, they're so beautiful," and everyone's, like, all about
Oh,
them, but at the end
man.
of the movie, in the 3rd half, and it's 4 of them, right? 4 or 5 of them, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
they're so secluded, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that was really, really effective. And you've got Jane who, sprains her ankle
Yep.
on the stairs. So as soon as that happened, I was like, "Uh-oh." So that already kinda made it even harder for her to quote unquote "get away" when stuff goes down. So I liked all of the setups, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What did you think about the final act, how it all came to be?
I think, you gotta love when you're sitting through one of these movies and
Mhm.
the final act delivers.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
this was like this you had Jane in the house hiding while
Yes.
she's seeing the killer, hacking up her friends. And
Yep.
it was,
Mhm.
yeah, it was great. It was a great scene. And the end, I mean, yeah, like I said, her and what, Roberto there, yeah, they end up, yeah, taking the killer down. And well, actually, they fought and won, and supposedly fell off a cliff or something.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was bloody and gore, and I loved it. So yeah, it was great.
One thing that I also thought was really cool about it too was there was a lot of cat and mouse because the
Hmm.
killer obviously went to the house and he killed the girls. So we're getting into spoilery type of talk now, guys. Um, so he kills the girls, but Jane was asleep because she had sprained her ankle. The doctor gave her a sedative, so she was asleep. And the killer didn't realize at first that she was still in the house. In other words, that there was still another one to get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
when she discovers her friends' bodies, and obviously she's totally distraught, but the killer is in the house, she can't get away, and
Yeah.
she's hurt. So that
Yeah.
whole
He locks
scene,
her in the room. Yeah.
yeah, and it was played out for about at least a good 12 minutes or so, at that point, and I thought it was really,
Yeah.
really well done. Let me just jump to the chat real quick and catch up with these guys, because, yeah, I wanna talk a little bit more about this finale. It was really, really good. Let's see. Gina was saying, when the gifted membership runs out, I can't become a member according to Google Play, as I don't live in your country. Really? I haven't heard of anything like that
That's a bummer.
because we have channel members from all over.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Katie or Denisha or who or Carrie, whoever may be in the chat, if you guys could like look into that real quick, because obviously I can't. Um, but I haven't heard of that as an issue. I'll have to look into that a little bit more, Gina. Let's see. Brandon saying this is also the first Giallo film where I can remember a killer using an automobile to the best of my imagination. Yes, yes, that scene was wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene was absolutely crazy. Um, yeah, it really was. Marquise is in the chat. What's going on, Marquise?
Hello.
And Denisha. Denisha's in the chat
Hey.
too. All right. And I think I'm about caught up here. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Okay. Um, Gina saying, I'm sure I've seen this, but not for a very long time. My brother was into these kind of films and missed me when I moved out. So he brought his films to mine. Okay. All right. Cool. Dan saying, I felt like the last part could have been a Tales from the Crypt episode. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Um, but yeah, getting back to the finale, it was great. It was absolutely great because you knew that she couldn't easily get away. And you know how we talk about that in these movies, especially these
Hmm.
slasher movies, like just run, go. And she definitely
Yeah.
couldn't do that. And she was locked
Yeah.
in the house. The killer was right there. Um,
Yes.
yeah, it was really well done. A lot of
Cat and
tension.
mouse.
And I
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't see that coming. I didn't see
Hmm.
that coming at the end that she was going to be in a situation like that. But
Yeah.
obviously, with her friends being having been killed and she's watching the killer with the hacksaw, it's like, oh man, this is a bad
Yeah.
situation. And I think
Yeah.
also, again, this movie's from 1973, but the way even that scene was done, like this image right here, this was
Yeah.
from her point of view when she was
Yeah.
hiding like behind the wall and the table. So
Hmm.
she saw, no pun intended, what he was doing, but they
Yeah.
didn't like show it
Show
to
it.
you.
Yeah. You could hear it.
You could
Yes. And it
hear it.
was, yeah.
What do you think about that as a technique um for this movie? Because we've seen a lot of movies where they show you everything, you know what I mean? And that's fine. But what
Oh,
do you think
yeah.
about how they did it
Yeah.
this way?
Oh, I love when movies, I love my gore and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love when movies, especially when they're made well,
Mm-hmm.
like Texas Chainsaw, that had hardly any gore. It just had, intense, like, horrific, shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just like the same with this, and the fact
Yeah.
that you could like hear it
Mm-hmm.
it's worse because it's like, damn, a lot of the times you don't hear the bones crunching
Right.
or you know what I mean? So it's for me, I think it's like way more effective, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of tension that it's
It
building up,
does.
you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
And because they don't show everything, I think there's also that anticipation because you're wondering, oh gosh, what's going to happen? And of
Yep.
course, in that particular scene, they don't show you him cutting them up, but
Hmm.
you constantly think that they will, or you constantly think that she's going to be spotted, and she isn't, at least not initially. um
Hmm.
Real quick too in the chat, let's see, we got Miss C is in the chat saying, hey,
Hello.
Mr. Night in the nighttime, hey Coriander, what's going on? We're talking about a really good slasher movie, Miss C.
Yeah.
um Denisha saying, I will try an iPhone gift membership. It works on my desktop now. Yeah, Denisha, if you could let me know how that works. And also because Gina is saying that she's not able to sign as a member. So if you guys could just check that out for me, you guys that are the mods here, that would be great. Um, Brandon saying, yes, the cinematography in the film is one of Martino's best. I think
Hmm.
it really is. It
Yeah.
really, really is. um it's one of those things where I think that the camera work and the music and the
Hmm.
style
Yeah.
really accentuated a movie that otherwise is very simple, you know
Yep.
yeah. um, Missy saying, "Yeah, it's been a while. I need to revisit Torso." Absolutely, and that's why we enjoy doing this series, because it gives um, us, as well as hopefully you guys, a chance to check out these movies that you may either have
Yeah.
never seen or heard of, but also
Hmm.
things that you may not have checked out in a while. And I think this is a great example, especially if you're a slasher fan, a Giallo fan. This is a really good example of one that I think is very effective. You know,
Yeah.
Dan saying, another great guest announcement today for Monster Mania. What is that, Dan? Because I didn't get a chance to see it earlier because obviously I work at night. So, um, let me know what it is, Dan. Brandon saying yes, I agree. The cinematography really pops for its time period. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see. Miss C saying I'm a mod, but I suck at it. Okay. That's okay. That's all right. As long as you can help out in any way you can in the chat, that's all that counts. Reminding
Right?
people to like the video and share it and things like that is fine. But for the rest of you guys, um, Katie or Denisha, if you can find out about the memberships for out of country, I didn't know that there was an issue with that. So,
Mm.
oh, Dan said Piper Laurie is going to be there. Oh, that is awesome. Oh
Who's
my
that?
gosh, Piper Laurie from Carrie.
Oh, okay.
The mom.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Corian, like,
I'm
oh,
terrible with
all right.
names.
I
Come
know,
on.
but that's your favorite movie.
I know. I'm
I know, it's all right.
sorry. Oh
But
my
that is really,
God.
really cool.
Yeah.
Um, Katie's saying we're at 26 likes. Okay, all right. Very, very cool. Marquis saying just saw Megan. It was awesome. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, we saw it too. Check out our videos on it. We just did our spoiler and a non-spoiler reaction to it. Brandon saying, Piper Laurie, instead of a lot of Carrie questions, I'd ask her about shooting 1993's Trauma in Minnesota with Dario. Yeah, and we
There you
did it.
go.
Brandon,
Yeah.
just let you know, we did an episode on trauma, so definitely check that out. I think that might have been
Mm-hmm.
about 2 months ago under our Slasher Movie Club playlist. You're right. I would want to ask her questions about that too, because she was not a fan of that movie. She was not a fan. Um, so I'm sure there's some really good stories. Yeah, that could be told. Marquis saying, do you know when there'll be a Terrifier 3? Do not know. I do not know. I know that they want to do it though. Neil saying the thing with the membership may be a credit card restriction or a Google Play setting to not allow purchases out of country. Oh, that's a good point, Neil. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely have to figure that out. Yeah. And let's see. Just want to catch up here. Russell was saying that Megan definitely worth the ticket. Yeah, absolutely. Missy saying tomorrow night is my birthday. Oh, happy early
Oh,
birthday,
happy
Missy.
birthday. Yeah.
Any special streams planned for tomorrow? Tomorrow night, we actually will not be streaming. We had a couple plans, but we had some huge schedule things pop up, and to be quite honest, we almost weren't able to stream tonight, But we're here. We're here. But we will not be streaming tomorrow night. But happy early birthday, Missy. And Denisha saying, I'm clueless about gifted memberships. It does work on iPhone. Okay. All right. Let's see. Brandon saying, nice. I'll check that out. Much respect. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is our 74th, I believe our 74th episode in this Slasher Movie Club series. So we've definitely covered a lot of
Yeah,
great ones. A lot of good
we
ones to come.
have.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Brandon saying, Nightwatch Zone, Night and Quarry, if you had to choose one and forget the others between New Year's Evil, Maniac, and Pieces, which would you choose? I'd go with Pieces.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Pieces, to me, that's just, yeah, I gotta go with Pieces.
Yeah, uh, yeah. I think I'd have to go with pieces too.
Yeah, I mean, all three are good,
They
but
are.
Pieces,
They
man,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Gina saying I've tried to send super chats below and was told my postcode was wrong. Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you why. Um, and let's see. I just want to catch up to you guys. Oh, you're welcome, Missy. You're welcome.
Hmm.
Sunrise going with Pieces as well. Yeah, man. It's a great one. But
Yeah.
just kind of to finish up here with Torso, it was fantastic. It was a
Yeah.
lot of great atmosphere, the
Mm-hmm.
music, the kills. It was very
Mm-hmm.
suspenseful. That's one word I want to just kind of touch upon with again, it was very suspenseful. The way that it was done, tons of red herrings. So
Yeah.
you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, what's going on?
Who's
Who did
done
it?
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I absolutely enjoyed it. I'm glad we got a chance to revisit it because I actually hadn't seen it since the last time that we covered it, which was
Yep,
well over
I did.
2 years ago, year and a half ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But as usual, let's give this a score. We have
Alright.
our little rating system. We've got the first that we could give it is 4 badges, saying that it's excellent and that you have to see this movie as a horror or slasher fan. We've got the 3 badges, meaning that it's good, you know? Yeah. And then we've got the 2 that basically means you could take it or leave it. It's kind of meh. And then, of course, we've got the dreaded 1 badge, which means it's dark territory. Don't check it out, aka don't go in the woods alone, aka blood cult,
Oh,
aka
jeez.
good night, God bless. Okay, so
Oh, man,
cor-
AKA.
coriander, and those were episodes that were actually fun to do, even though we weren't big fans of those movies. But anyways, coriander, what you
Yeah.
gonna give it?
Were they though?
They were,
Um,
they were funny.
yeah. I would totally have to give this one a 4.
Ooh, okay, we're going with a 4.
Yeah,
Okay,
you need to own this one.
yeah. Um, I think that that is a fair score, and I also will give it 4 badges. I think that this is a fantastic example of a giallo, and I think that it's one of those that you can rewatch and just really enjoy it. It's great atmosphere. It's a good slasher. It's a good whodunit,
Yeah,
um, and it's got a lot of style. Hell of a lot of
it
style.
does. And we've
Yeah.
said it before, the music. I mean, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Let's see. Brandon saying also the opening sudden axe murder and the dancing. Also, its ending, even if it makes no real sense, the audience participation track was freaking hilarious. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Um, Marquis saying, Nightwatch, do you like the older movies or the new style movies? I like both, but I
Yeah.
definitely old school movies are always fun because it's just a different time period, and especially
Yes.
for this whole series does a lot of, callbacks to the older movies because the slasher genre,
Mhm.
that's when it was at its peak, when you're talking about the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and
Yep.
so forth. Um, so I totally love these old movies. I really, really do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Plus,
Um,
you can't go wrong with, the special effects. I'm not a big fan of CGI,
mhm,
I don't mind when there's more special effects versus CGI. When you use both and you do it correctly,
mhm.
okay. But I don't, yeah, I just love the effects of the old school movies too.
Yeah, yeah. Brandon saying anyone could agree or disagree, but do you think the gore in Pieces is on the level of Terrifier? I think it's on the now. Are we talking about Terrifier 1
Hmm.
or 2? And I would say that it's in the ballpark
Hmm.
for sure. Obviously, in both Terrifier movies,
Yeah.
there were a couple scenes that really went that extra mile because of what they could do with
Yeah, they
practical
did.
effects.
Yeah,
But
so
but
yeah.
the
Hmm.
the kills themselves, for what Pieces could do at the time,
Yeah.
I think they were really, really good and pretty close to that level of Terrifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Close, but I
Terrifier
think
2.
Terrifier still, yeah, yeah.
Well, as far as
It's
what they show, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Terrifier is showing just about the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Because it could, because it
Yeah.
has that advantage of practical being so amazing now versus when Pieces
Yeah.
came out. But
Right.
some of those kills in Pieces, what the kill was, what the kill was and what they
Mhm.
could show,
Yeah.
some
It
really
was
good stuff, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Um,
was.
Russell giving it a 4, Dan
Nice.
giving it a 3. All right. Brandon saying I love is underrated. The Case of the Scorpion's Tail. Now, I have not seen that one.
Me neither.
I've heard good things about it. You haven't seen that either, huh?
I've never heard of it
Oh,
either. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, that might have to be one that we check out. I've heard of it. I've actually heard good things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it new
No,
or is it an older?
no,
Yeah.
it's an
Okay.
older one. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Brandon saying I haven't finished it yet, but I'm not a huge Giallo fan, so I'd give it 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And I think that this is definitely for fans, for fans of the Giallo movies or slasher movies. Um, I think that it is a very specific type of subgenre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan was asking for some other suggestions of Sergio's work, and of course Neil coming to the rescue. Yeah, all the colors of the dark, and also talking about Scorpion's tail. Yes, all right, very very cool. Um, let's see. And Sunrise saying he's heading out. Catch you later. Catch you later. Let's see. Skull Crusher saying Torso's on Tubi. I'm watching it right now. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
all right.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Miss C saying I'm stuck in 70s and 80s horror and I like it that way. All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But there are some good horror
There
movies
is.
that are recent. And of course, we've talked about a hell of a lot of them. So
Yeah.
this don't miss out, Miss Carter. Trust me, there's some good stuff that's come after the 80s. Russell saying I'm giving it a 4. It was enjoyable.
Nice.
All right. Very, very cool. So we also have to talk about what we're going to be checking out for next week. Maya's in the chat saying hi. Hi, Maya.
Hello. Aw.
Too funny. Too funny. But let's also talk about what we've got for next week. Now,
Okay.
this, Miss Carter said, meh, debatable. You mean for the movie or for
Yeah,
or for
I
horror movies
think
after the
for
80s?
yeah, I think that's what she's talking about.
Yeah. I don't think that's debatable. Come on.
Mm,
Horror movies did not end at 1989. Candyman wasn't in the 80s, and I know you love Candyman. Aha. There we go. So, anyways, Coriander, what are we going to be doing
yeah,
for next week? This movie is from 2013, I
13.
believe.
Yes.
I had never
Yep.
heard of it, and it's
Me
a movie
neither.
called Bloody Homecoming.
Yes.
Bloody
Yep.
Homecoming. Now, if this is anything even close to something like um, I don't know, there's been some good ones for back in the day.
Prom night,
Hopefully,
you
Prom
know.
Night, yeah. If it's
Yeah,
anything
Carrie or
close to that,
yeah.
then this could be a really fun time. But that's what we're going to be checking out for next week. It
Yeah.
is available on
Yep.
what was that? What was that?
I was just gonna say, yep, but you're saying it.
No, go ahead.
Oh. Prime, Voodoo, and Roku.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it is available on those platforms. Brandon saying agreed. There was some great supernatural horror slasher franchise entries and zombie epics and solid franchise horror in more modern times. Absolutely. No, there's no
Hmm.
doubt. Candyman, Saw, the list goes on and on. Final Destination movies, The Conjuring, Hereditary. I could keep going on and on. So, um, Dre saying Prime Night from 1980 is my favorite. All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Russell saying he thinks that he's seen it before and it's on Tubi. Okay.
Nice.
Brandon saying Bloody Homecoming, is this like The Loved Ones? I have no idea. I
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
seen it.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss C saying, and don't start with me on Candyman. I'll get you sooner or later. Ah, see? Got you on that one. 1992. But no, I know what you're saying, Miss C. I mean, obviously, my favorite decade for horror is 80s as well. So there's no doubt about that. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that's about all we've got for our discussion on Torso. It's a very, very good movie. For anyone that's a fan of the Giallo movies, I think you should check it out. And it's free, so you can't get any cheaper than free. So, anyways, for you guys in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We really, really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Don't forget to hit the like
Hmm.
button. That would help support the channel, and we'd really appreciate you giving us a like. Also, let us know in the comments what you think about Torso or any other
Yeah.
suggestions that you have that might be similar or different. And we will catch you guys next time. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Upchich.